Hi, it's Kylie Koo, and this is day 6 of the ATC A Day Challenge for 2017. So today I've got my card to start with, as always, and I've taken 2 colours of green and just a cosmetic sponge, and I'm just going to sponge these onto the card. And what I'm basically doing is blending the colours really on the card. I'm not looking to have a smooth blend, but just that they'll blend together there, but still have some highlights of dark and lighter. Now, that paint was almost a little bit watery, so I'm just trying to give it a shake in the tube. Shouldn't have to do that, but it was almost as if it had separated a bit. So yeah, giving it a shake. So just dabbing that around, and I will take some of the darker green again just to bring that back in a bit. And just giving a good coverage across the card. And a quick dry. And now just taking some little scraps of Tim Holtz tissue, and I'm just going to glue these into place. Let me know if you find it helpful that I kind of talk through the process of what I'm doing and sometimes why I'm doing it. Hopefully that's something you find helpful, but please do let me know, or if there's anything else you'd like me to be explaining, then please do say. So just using some gel matte medium to hold those in place. And I'll give that a very quick dry, and then what I want to do is just to blend those in a bit, just so that they go a bit more into the background. And all I do is to take my sponge, which still has some paint on it, and just dab that over. And now just cut off the little bits of overhang of tissue paper. So at this point I like the colour, but I feel it's just a bit too bright. So I'm just taking some white just to knock the colour back a bit, and just with a dry brush I'm just spreading that around and really kind of scrubbing it in, really trying to get a very thin layer of the white, not over it entirely, just over most of it, but you know, still leaving little gaps of the original colour showing through. Again, just taking that sponge with a little bit of colour on it and just dabbing it over, just to get that blended effect. And I think, as I've said before, never know quite what it is until I get there. You know, I just keep going with it. So I enjoyed using my gelatos yesterday, so I've got the chocolate one today, and this one is butterscotch. I'm fancying both colours for the card, but can't quite decide which one. So I start off with the chocolate, just a very thin edge. And I start to blend it in, but then just put a dab of water onto my finger and just blend it that way. It actually thins it out a bit. And I quite like the look of that. But I also, in a moment, will give the butterscotch a go. And again, I start to blend that in. And I like that, and I decide that actually I want some of the butterscotch across the kind of main body of the card. So a very quick blend, and I do like the kind of streaked effect that it leaves. And now taking the chocolate, going in a bit bolder with it this time, but I will also blend it out again, just using my finger. And by this point I was really starting to like the way that those colours were coming together. So I had this piece of burlap and I was thinking about how I could use that, but I also had some of the threads from it. They just come off and I thought, I might just use the threads rather than a kind of whole piece of burlap. And I'm looking at whether I can maybe wind those round. So I'm pulling out one of my stamps. And again, I still haven't found my acrylic block. And I know that this stays on pad starting to get a bit dry. I do have a replacement, but as always, I'm trying to use every last drop of it. If I'd had a kind of brown ink, I would have used that, but this is fine because I knew it wouldn't be too bold because, as I say, the pad's starting to dry a bit. Now got out my letter stamps, and I'm going to, or the plan was to stamp directly onto the card, but what I want to do here is just to test it on the paper to see if I can actually fit the word in. And then I think, I like the way it's on the kind of greaseproof paper here. I will stamp on that and then glue that onto the card. And again, it just gives another bit of texture. So just tearing around that. I'm not going to edge it or anything, so really just making it quite small. And then I'm just going to use my glue stick to put it in place. Now this glue stick is actually blue, but it does dry clear. And you'll see already that that blue is starting to disappear. So now I'm looking at how I might fix the threads on. I take 3, wrap them round lengthwise and glue them in place on the back. Now I use Glossy Accents for this. I find that Glossy Accents is really quite a quick drying glue and just kind of ideal for this type of thing. So just rubbing it along just to catch a few of the threads so that they won't move. I turn it over, stretch it down, put a little bit of a twist in it, nothing too much, but a little bit of a twist. And then what I'll do is glue the other end on the back as well. And again, just using the Glossy Accents to do that. Then I decide on the front that just in, I think about 3 spots, I'll just hold those threads in place. And that will just stop them from moving. Now take another set of threads, and this time I'm going to go around the card widthwise. Just swapping one of the threads out there because it was a bit on the short side. And again, the same process. These ones were quite long at this stage, so I just snipped them off. The same process of using the Glossy Accents just to hold them in place. And again, I will just put some dabs of Glossy Accents down just to hold them in different spots along there. So I liked the way it was looking, but I felt that that top left hand corner just needed something. So I decided that what I would do is just go in quite heavy with the chocolate gelato there. I do go around the other edges as well, but I pay particular attention to that kind of top left hand corner. It just felt like it needed a bit of something to balance it out. And again, I just play away with it until I feel it's at the point that feels right. Hard to describe. And that's it. So another card done. So as always, thanks very much for joining me. Thanks for all your comments. See you again tomorrow, I hope. Bye for now.